And we are live. We've been
Hello,
live for a
everyone.
few minutes now. But guys, thank you so much for joining us today. And we are so excited for the big picture. And here with us, ladies and gents, friends, hopefully not enemies. With us is the corporate chef of Laguna Group's Raki Urbina. Hi, Raki. How are you?
I'm good. Nice of you to come, Joseph and Dave. So thank you for having us.
It's our
It's
pleasure.
an honor. It's an honor, actually. Thanks for thinking of us.
Yeah, well, Rocky, we've seen, we love your brand. We've been there. We ate,
Good.
and we really enjoyed it. And I know one of the things that we're gonna talk about this more later, but for the few people that doesn't know you, for that 2-3 people doesn't know you, can you talk a little bit about yourself and your family's business? Then we
Okay.
go from there.
I'm Raki Urbina. I'm the managing director and corporate chef of the Laguna Group. And under the Laguna Group, we have the brands Café Laguna, Parilla, Lemongrass, and Ulis Streets of Asia. We've been in the business for the past 28 years. And
How old were you back then?
I was small. And the business was started by my parents, Julita and Ricardo Urbina. And right now, it's being managed and all hands on by the second generation.
All right.
Yes. And yeah, we're still working and every day is busy.
Can you talk a little bit about because you were there for sure when you started? What was it like? With your looking at your parents, watching them start this now like multiple brands, very successful company.
Okay, so you might not believe it when how it's all started. Okay, so everybody, all the siblings. I am representing in behalf of the company.
Yeah.
The business is about the family. They're the ones active, no. So all the other siblings have also their parang expertise and participation in the business. So it just so happened that I was the one being interviewed.
Yes.
You're
So
very
I wanna-
humble.
I want to
Very
share
humble.
this. I want to share this.
Yeah.
Siguro advocacy and imparting learning and also success stories. It was because of a talagang team effort. So it's a family effort. It's not just me. Okay, but growing up, we were all witness of how it started. I was telling Joseph and I was telling Dave pala, sorry. I was telling Dave earlier what was it like yung unang karinderya. So I showed him like in front of this across the street. It was like that. It was a simple karinderya. It had only tatlong ulam, beef stew, menudo, and bami.
Wow.
Yes, I can still
Very
remember.
Filipino.
I can still remember. Okay, it all started when my father, who was a military doctor, was assigned in Cebu. So since he had 5 children at that time, he was forced to economically had to bring all of us here. So that's why he was able to find an apartment near the camp.
Yeah.
That's why this is the
Oh,
place.
this is the place.
So eventually they were able to purchase the lot. It is where the apartment stood. So this was very memorable for us, this place. And to augment, my mom also tried to work. She didn't go into business right away. She worked in a hotel that at that time as a housekeeper, and then she
What year was this?
probably we transferred here in 1975.
Wow.
I was 3 years old then.
Okay.
And then my mom, for a short stint, worked with the hotel as a housekeeper. And since parang hindi pa rin kasya, because there were 5 of us, hindi pa rin kasya yung income. So she decided to have a small eatery. Okay, the small eatery was inside the apartment where we lived
Yeah.
at the same time.
Is
so
that allowed?
we have to spare our sala.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we all lived upstairs. It all started with the mere parang goal of my mother na at least if we have a karinderya, libre na yung pagkain natin.
Yeah.
It just
Oh my
started with
gosh.
that kind of idea.
Wow, that's very powerful. Huh?
It's very interesting because you're the motivation para is really just just meeting the basic needs
Exactly.
of the family.
Parang ang sabi niya, it was how were they schooled? Parang sabi nila, University of Hard Life.
Yeah.
Hard knocks.
It was because of hard life. So, ayan, growing up, I could still remember na my mom would bring me. Sometimes I would hate it, admittedly. Because, as kids, you wanted to play with your friends.
Yeah.
Pero I have to accompany her going to Carbon.
Yes.
So, we did marketing. So, that's why she would always tell me.
This is early in the morning.
Early in the morning.
Because
And
you serve breakfast, ba?
Well, she
Or
had catering
lunch.
also that time.
Okay.
So mga paluto and things
Yeah.
like that, take-out orders. So we had to purchase and we had no suppliers because it was just a carinderia. And I can also remember lagi niyang sinasabi na always look at my back because there were snatchers and things like that. So the thing I hated the most was, every time na we already purchased all the vegetables, so she would put me in one corner to wait, and I would watch over it.
Yeah.
Parang ganon. So it was my vivid memories of how childhood was. And then
Are you the eldest? In
No,
the
I'm
family?
not the eldest. Though I look matured, but
No. because you're the one accompanying your mom.
And possibly the eldest or the youngest. Being the
Yes.
bully.
Okay, yeah.
that at that time I was the youngest. But our youngest sibling, John Paul, he was born 1979. So after 10 years, nagkaroon ako ng brother. So all the others kasi all are busy. All were busy with school.
Yes.
And part of school should always be helping in the business.
Yeah.
So for us to have tuition, it was like
Okay.
that.
So it's like
To answer your question,
Yes.
I'm the fifth of 6 children.
I see. So you were the youngest that time, and that's the reason why you get to
Yes.
Yeah, so if I were to put it, your mom was the founder, the CEO at that time.
The
of a
founder,
carinderia.
the CEO, our purchaser, our
Chef.
patriarch,
Yeah.
our R&D, everything. She did all that.
But of course, there was something in the cooking, right? That people would, want to know more about, want to really
to
try
come
it,
back.
right?
That's the one very interesting because during that time there were there were Filipino restaurants, but my mom had an inkling like, what if we make food that is Tagalog in taste?
Ah, I see. She wanted
So that was the parang mantra during that time. And it started, yes, with the Carenderia. So we served Tagalog taste. So wala pa si kare-kare, wala pa. Eventually, after the Carenderia, we were able to move to another space of the apartment. And then moved again to the
So you
another
rent-
space
you
of the
rented-
apartment.
You rented more and more space. Yeah.
Yes, until we had a parang store. It was quite some time. I don't know how many years. I cannot remember, but it was more of there were parang foods, parang karinderya pa rin, but we were serving beer.
Yeah.
Parang it was more of a beer place. Parang ganyan.
It's for the evening people.
Yes. Parang like people would sometimes walk. When they ask me, Rak, do you remember me? I used to eat in your carinderia. I go, how come you ate in our carinderia before siya? Because we used to drop by to your place because of our ROTC. ROTC, if you don't
Yes.
know, it's parang requirement in college before.
Millennials don't know this, but we were all there.
I'm
RTC
sorry.
is coming back though.
So if you have your podcast, we had the ROTC before. So that was it. Until such, then the followers grew. So it was not named Café Laguna. The name of the place was Mother's Best Food.
Wow, yes, I've heard about that.
Mother's Best Food. And we had this corny logo. There's a nest na may bird na there's a worm feeding the
chicks.
The chicks, para ganon. So yeah, it was fun remembering it. And eventually we ventured into canteen concession. The canteen concession in San Miguel, we got it at the glass plant. So it was 24 hours operation. So parang,
And you still have this business here, and then parang
Yes.
yeah, wow, okay.
and also that. So we had the Carenderia and also the canteen.
Yeah.
So-
So, how does this work? Like your mom will be here in some.
My mom would be there. Parang we had schedules at the same time working. That's why, not to be bitter about it, but every time when summer is, pag parating na ang summer, all of my classmates in I was, I think, going to high school.
Yeah.
They were jumping na, excited for summer.
And you are excited for the summer job.
Me, I would cry. Me, I would cry. So it's a sad thing for me. Why? Because I
Punong-puno.
I have to be in our canteen.
You're gonna be bantay.
I will be assigned in the
assigned in it.
graveyard shift. I will be the bodeguero. Sometimes I will be in the yung parang magtakos.
Yeah. Server. Parang server.
Yeah, para magportion ng food.
Portion.
So I would
So-
take care of that.
How old were you at this time?
I think I was in first year high school
Yeah.
or second year high school, something like that. And my sister Grace also, she was the cashier.
So it's
San
really a
Miguel.
family.
What was your mentality at this time? Because like you said, right? All your classmates, everyone else gets to go to the beach or go to the province, and like, oh, that's not gonna happen for us because we're running this thing. Like, was there like resistance, or how did your parents
Yeah.
help you accept?
Or
Delegate
those tasks.
Okay,
and how did you accept it?
Maybe parenting was so different that time and compared now that I also have kids. The bitter pill to swallow at that time is if you're as a child, you have to swallow the reality and face it.
Yeah.
And you have to commit. Like you cannot do anything. You have to help. Okay. And unlike now where we give our children choices.
Kind of like shield them.
Yeah.
Now they're more shielded.
Yeah, more shielded, and we give them options and things to explore.
Right.
Though initially, I would admit I used the word bitter, but I realized when I grew older, it was such a blessing.
It was like an early OJT and a really good training
in real
job.
life.
In real life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if me and my siblings, my sisters, we have tons of cuento about that.
Yeah.
They have all our funny experiences. Kasi in glass plant, it doesn't close.
Yeah.
It doesn't close. So the only
And
time
there's
I
like
can
1,000 of people, no?
it's like 1,500
Wow.
people at that time per shift.
Per
and there were
shift.
3 shifts.
Wow.
So you could imagine the volume of
People
people eating there.
So
I mean, it was a good business, right? How did I was curious because it seems like from that, and we all know the brands now that you got, right? We got Ulis, you've mentioned it earlier, and what motivated your mom from this single Carenderia here and now to a canteen, and maybe we can track those until we reach today. But what motivated her to like accept that bigger task despite having low manpower or what?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it eventually grew. She was inspired by the number of people that was patronizing the food.
Okay, so there was it.
Okay.
There was a need. There was a need.
There was this unmet need of a different taste. So it was the Tagalog not really taste, Tagalog style of cooking. So I think talagang naglakas loob siya. We stopped San Miguel. We stopped our stint in San Miguel, and the little savings that she had a dream kasi of one day I'm gonna own a restaurant that has an aircon.
Wow, that
Was the
simple
only
dream.
inspiration. It was not the size. It was just the aircon. Sabi niya, how nice would it be na we have a food place na may aircon.
yeah.
And then so here's the funny part. She went to a certain architect, kasi you have to design the place. It was an apartment, so you have to remodel it. they were not, hindi sila nagkaintindihan in terms of expectation.
Okay.
So she wanted a Carenderia with
Aircon.
aircon. The architect designed it parang mid-level restaurant na siya.
Yeah.
With that European glass.
There's a
Parang
feel.
glass windows, mga ganyan. So when it was about to be finished, my mom said, I think our plates that we bought, the
Does not
cutleries
match.
does not match. So we had to change the concept. So which one do you change? The one you spent for or the one you should think of?
Yeah.
So eventually, that paved way for Café Laguna. So if you might notice, like when we opened Café Laguna, was it like malakas ka agad? No, it was not. I could remember maybe 2 months. We would clap when there's a car that would pass by and park.
Because this is, remembering that time, this is not like a populated area, right?
Yes.
It's more
It was
of like,
outside of the camp. It's more of residential.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the main areas were in the downtown
Colon.
area.
In Colon, right?
Colon.
Yes.
Wow.
And ayun, I could remember the first mga saleable items that time were the puto bongbong. We were the only ones who were serving it year round.
Wow.
Puto bongbong and lumpia. And then sumunod na si kare-kare. Now, as the business went by, siguro mga after like three months, people started to come. And you would see cars lined up all the way. We didn't have much parking. So I think we had like 4 car slots. But all the way, both sa streets, going up, going down, you'd see the cars. So we were parang a talk of the town at that time.
Okay.
What year was this?
1984, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so you created the restaurant, right? So you also stopped the Carenderia now.
We
are just
did
focused
stop
on
the
this-
Carenderia.
This
You're right, Joseph. Yes.
wow. So everybody's now contributing to this one project.
Yes.
What was so I know you mentioned that you became the talk of the town, right? This brand now is like it's getting traction. What do you think was the tipping point where it like break out for you?
I'm also curious. Was there any thought of like making it big at that time,
that's a
right?
good question.
Okay.
Because you had the dream now, the aircon is there.
Alright, maybe we'll pull up another one.
Was there any dream at that time that it will become as big as it is now, or
Okay.
You
The happy part, it was because of these people who were frequenting the Café Laguna, first Café Laguna here in Lahug. There was this group of executives, and we didn't know who they were, but they kept on dining. They were frequent. Later found out these people were executives of Ayala Center, which
wow,
which
this story is really amazing.
yeah,
connected.
they were eating here kasi they were Tagalog.
I see.
They were still building Ayala Center. So because of the foot traffic and the parang number of customers that we had, so they were amazed. So they were the ones who invited us. And the first notion that my mom had in mind was, I don't know if I can survive. I don't know how to pay rent. It's a mall. I already have my aircon.
Right.
I already have my aircon. So, she was so thankful and grateful, really, to that person, to these people, that they educated her, convinced her, and told her like there's this such thing was what you call a feasibility study.
Oh my goodness.
So they coached her. Na parang, if you make this much, you'll earn this much. If you spend for this, okay, you just need to make bantay for this one, mga ganyan. So it was really my mom who took the cudgels of from nothing to something. So she was the catalyst. She was that. Yon. And then after how many years, when Ayala opened, we were one of the first locators.
And I could still remember actually, like when I was young, I was like someday I'll eat to this restaurant because it felt really like a premium restaurant, right?
Yeah.
At that time, right?
Yeah, there was still a pan.
Like no,
in-
it's
You
like a
remember?
mansion.
It's like, yeah.
like Spanish,
Yeah, our theme that time was parang yung parang gobernadorcillo.
Yeah.
Ganon.
Yeah, was it the same architect?
We have evolved naman then. So this group of architects, we have evolved. Yeah, we still tap them, we still call them. But during that time, it was little by little, like baby steps. So we opened Café Laguna in Ayala, and then the second one was Laguna Garden.
Yes.
Okay, this is the story behind it. You might wonder, why are there two Café Lagunas
Inside
facing
in
each
one
other?
mall. Exactly.
Laguna Garden.
Yes. So Ayala Center was already a hit, and it was already a destination in Cebu, and they decided to build the Garden Row. So that Garden Row is what Laguna Garden is right now. However, they didn't believe much in the project. They were quite skeptical because why are you putting Cafe Laguna right in front?
Yeah.
Even Mr. Sobel was suggesting to my mom when he was visiting the place, why don't you make a Japanese restaurant or a different kind of restaurant? Well, my mom said, we counted the number of customers that we cannot accommodate. We wanted a space to have longer tables. So it was, I don't know, by that time, people don't think it was a brilliant idea, but until now, it's working. It's still there. So
Yeah.
I guess it
So
works.
it's the same. It's basically the same, right?
Food.
Food, everything, right? Laguna Garden.
there's like a
There's a
function.
little bit of variation. There's some items in Laguna Garden that you cannot find the one inside the mall.
I see.
Yes.
All right.
So the one inside the mall caters to the eat and go, and then the other is more for big groups.
Yeah.
The families.
Families.
There's like events area on the top of it, right?
Exactly, correct.
Wow.
Right.
All right.
Okay, so people when every time we interview businesses and they always go to the next level, there's always this gap that they need to to basically break through. Like usually it's a mental change that goes through. What do you think was that like for you from the vision was to have an aircon Carenderia, and it's a totally it's what was the can you just walk us through like what were the changes in mindset that you and your family, your mom especially.
Yeah, especially you when you were the one doing carbon. Now
What were the things that that we have to change our mind from this thinking to that thinking?
Yeah, so the first thing was no, don't go to Carbon, get a supplier. Okay, I'm just kidding. When we were growing, so it also like made an impact to the family. So there were 6 siblings now. So the first one who joined my mom was my the fourth sibling, my sister Grace. She was the first. She was the pinaka matapang na and really decisive na I would work in the family business.
let go of her career or whatever she was
Yes.
doing.
She's actually an optometrist, a licensed optometrist, and gave it up and went to the food business. So she was the first assistant of my mom, and my eldest sister Jill, who's now managing the one inside the mall, she worked with PAL for 13 years, and she was in Manila. She came back, resigned. So nagka-transition din yung family
Yeah.
because we were making awa na to mom na kawawa naman, she doesn't have day off and things like that. So kawawa, she was really hardworking. She's like a horse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So aside from being inspired, we parang took pity to our mom na she's been working so hard. Me, after college, I made sure that I would not go into the food business.
You were.
I really tried to get away from the food
Yeah.
business. After graduating college, I joined the banking industry. I worked there for 6 years. I think I had a good career. I had lots of friends. I have, it gave me a lot of awakening. working in the bank, the structure, the way decorum is done,
Yeah.
and then
Rocky, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because why is it that, the logical thing, at least from my vantage point, is for all the kids to right off college join the family business? What was the how did what was the
What
thinking
kept you from like doing
to
that?
doing that? Yeah.
what kept me? Okay, one, I did not enjoy my high school summer
Because of that.
because of that.
Yeah, so
Um,
you're bitter.
I wanted to prove something for myself because I was you might have the impression that I'm the studious type and no, I was bugoy. No, I was bugoy. And working in a bank made me realize and value the family business. So,
Yeah. Please elaborate
Okay.
on that because it's very important.
okay. We didn't have this notion of professionalizing it. No la, it's just like more of helping my mom and my dad. Even my dad, okay, my dad, he's my late dad. Is a EENT doctor. Had early retirement from the military service. Even was the assistant of my mom. He did not practice na. So parang unti-unti we were drawn to it. Okay, as for myself, I work Monday to Friday in the bank. Saturday, my mom would go for a day off. So I would take over for to to pave way for her day off. And I also grew tired, I'm working like 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
So might as well join na lang. Parang ganon. And I was worried because at that time, I think I was doing well with work. I think so. So, but I did not regret it. Okay, there was an opportunity that came that made me formalize my entry to the business. So we had Café Laguna Lahug, we had Café Laguna Ayala, and we had Laguna Garden. So when we were building Laguna Garden, it was a venture because it was a big venture for us because we were to build we build the structure ourselves at that time. It was not Ayala who provided the building.
Wow.
So it was like major investment talaga. So we had to make sure na may bantayan namin. So I was in charge. I resigned. I helped in the banquet operation. So I even remember ako yung nagti-technician doon, minsan DJ, minsan waiter, dishwasher, things like that. And then we had an opportunity to manage another property. So we had an offer from Ayala, siguro with our track record of doing the business. They wanted us to do the F&B setup and operations of the City Sports Club, which we did for a year. So after setting it up, we turned it over to them. There we saw and realized many things. One, we didn't have structure. Second, we lacked expertise, and we lacked
Expertise
manpower
in
in terms of operations, like managerial skills, systems, and things like that. So it opened our eyes.
how did you realize this? Is it like feedback from the people that come in, or is like more of like it's harder for you to operate with the current structure that you
Okay.
have?
Inside City Sports Club, there were different outlets. So there were like 4 or 5 food outlets, and they had banquet operations. So I was the one who headed it there. It is where we realized, okay, ganito pala ang structure. Okay, if you're gonna set up the org chart of the kitchen for this type of operation, ganito pala. Because we were just so used to the simple org chart. Okay, ikaw taga prito, ikaw taga ganyan, ikaw taga ganon. So our horizons widen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oo. So that's when I decided and asked my parents permission if I can pursue further studies.
So
So
this is where you went.
I
outside the
applied,
country.
I applied. It took me almost 2 years to apply because during that time, it was not that accessible and it was a big investment, and they only opened the slots 20% to foreigners. So good thing, 2015, I was able to enter the Culinary Institute of America.
Wow.
So Ang probinsyano napunta doon.
So yeah, and this is just to make sure that the operation gets better and also to widen.
Yes.
Your yeah.
So
So you
I-
became the R&D in that area.
Parang ako yung guinea pig eh.
Yeah.
I was the guinea pig. And while I was there, it was not easy. It was not easy. And I think right now there's an influx of many culinary schools. And I would say this frankly, there's also an influx of culinary enthusiasts, especially students, who end up not doing the career. Because it's now parang minsan fad. It's like a fad. Unlike before, we were not called chefs. We're called cocineros during that time. So, while I was there, I was actually quite parang nervous of the expectations that the expectations they had on me when I arrived. So, I was worried. I was even asking because I got a job offer in the States.
To here, right?
Yes. I got a job offer, really good job offer in Las Vegas.
It was
I told my mom like,
Oh.
can I just work here? And,
that was not the plan.
Damn you!
Ako yun ang maaral sa'yo.
That was really interesting, no? Kasi you have a goal to do this, and then what made you say no to that offer?
Okay, actually, I was just kidding my mom. I did it. It took me a lot of courage to go there.
Okay.
I already had kids when I went there. They were small. It was so hard.
Yeah.
Tapos I had issues about adjusting there. Parang ganon. My life here was good. No, I was so comfortable. I can just walk. Doon, I didn't have any car. I didn't have anything. I was zero. And in terms of population inside the school, it's like Hogwarts. No, parang Harry Potter. It's a very parang lonely place. Okay, but the training was kick-ass.
Wow.
It
World
was
class.
World
World
class.
class.
Yeah, world class. And it's where I met these contacts, these connections. This is where my eyes opened. It's where my passion started. It's where my horizons changed totally different. I did a lot of inspirations. Many things. Many things. I
Can you
learned there.
share one of those changes, or when you say my horizons change or widened, what was that like?
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
example.
this. There was this one thesis that we had to do. So aside from regular school, we were cooking every day. So there was once na my classmates would tell me, we have a thesis and we need to present it. So one of them told me like, do you know there's this software called PowerPoint? So I said, okay, yeah, I know, I know, because they really thought we were like
Third world.
really third world, and then
We didn't know.
honestly, like we lived on trees.
Yeah. Wow.
Honestly,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
During that time,
This is
parang
year like in the
90
90s?
no,
It is-
2014.
Because PowerPoint was like 1987.
Okay, so I
Oh yes.
I didn't get offended. They were just like concerned
trying to help.
about me, yeah. And but one thing they admired of me is because I can speak English, and I write good. I can write.
Yeah.
Even in examinations, my teachers would be worried na baka hindi ako pumasa. No, I compose well than the Americans.
Wow. Proud.
Kasi parang tayo parang old school. 'Di ba? The way we are taught English so
Yeah.
old school. Yeah. And then the funny part, when we were presenting, I was the only one who bought a Mac. Kidding aside, they were surprised. "Shit, you have Apple in yeah, we do. 10 years ago. Yeah, that was fun. Okay. One thing, it's like Filipino food has not entered the global scene. That was for me one of the they don't know. Okay. In one of the sessions, we were made to feature something that was so unique from your country. I had this Japanese classmate. They brought all this kind of soy sauce and things like that. I called my family. Like, can you send me some bagoong?
Yeah.
Bagoong, the patis.
Yeah.
Ganyan. So we had food tasting. Their first reaction is, Rax, this smells like corpse. It was an eye opener. So those funny experiences, I did learn a lot also from them. How to be mentally tough, how it pays to be, how it pays to plan. Because in terms of training, education here and abroad was so different.
Yeah.
In they're so independent and they plan. I really admire sample women. That time they would go to school and at the same time have two jobs, and they
Yeah.
would wake up like 3 o'clock in the morning, and just to have money.
Yeah.
So the thing was when I came back.
Yes.
So that was like the parang the business was doing
Enlightened
well.
moment,
Doing
right?
well, pero I didn't know. I was telling myself it's either I make or break. It's because the first impression would be, oh, yun, Amerikano ka na. Ganun ka na, no?
Was
So-
there an expectation, level of expectation?
Oh yeah,
for-
I could, it was
felt
it was stressful for me because I know they were really expecting. The first thing that I did when I took over the kitchens was to confiscate all of the cleavers. You know what's a cleaver?
Cleaver.
Yung parang a cleaver, it's a flat edge, yung parang itak. Parang ganun. I don't know, call it in Bisaya. Atcha.
Yeah, atcha.
Something. Okay, it's a cleaver. And all of our kitchen personnel, everything that they see, they chop. Garlic, they chop. They chop.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what I've known, you have to be very delicate in what you, in what you slice, in what you prepare. So, the first thing I did was confiscate it, and it had a violent reaction from our crew.
Yeah, because that,
Oh,
that
para
was
bang,
used-
who's this guy, di ba? So then I realized, okay, here's how I will enter. I did all the lineal jobs, all the dirty stuff. I did it. So I started from, I went to this one. Okay, I would tell them, okay, you take the day off. I'll take care of your shift. Dishwashing.
Yeah.
Cleaning of the canal, I'll do it. I'll do it with my bare hands. I'll clean it. The mga caldero. So it was like that. And then I didn't want people to show parang I didn't want to earn my respect because I was a sibling.
Yeah.
So I wanted them to earn my respect in terms of skill. So that was my mantra. Little by little, we acknowledged that what our people lacked was skill. And then it started from there. Then I slowly changed it, professionalized it, and then we develop and things like that.
So what was the difference now from your regular? So you transformed Laguna Cafe, right? Or you created a new brand out of it?
Well, we have streamlined operations.
Okay, awesome.
We're not saying that we've already perfected the operations of a la carte. We still do have struggles. We still do have complaints once in a while. And that's what keeps us going. We love our customers. Sometimes we do experience like bashing in Facebook, in social media. But it's okay. What we always say and our guiding principle is we're not doing anything wrong. We have to make it better. So if in case there's still flaws, we're still not stopping until now. So even learning, we're still not stopping until now.
Wow.
So when you came back, when did the culinary, school
Okay.
happen? Is it like shortly after?
No. Well, I had to train all the staffs. So I made a training program. There was even a time like a struggle between me and my mom. Like for example, Mom, I have to change your soup stock. The way you prepare the soup stock.
yeah.
No, it's working well before. Don't change that.
Yeah.
Things like that. So we the good thing with me and my mom, I think we have a very similar in taste. We're very similar in how we eat. We're good eaters, big appetite. We seem to have the same likes in food, and also I think it's more on also of the understanding how the business is. Now, it's not. I'm taking care of the kitchens. So I right now under me is I manage all the kitchens. I do the research and I also do concepts. I also for the systems. I'm overseeing right now HR, marketing. Um, However, my siblings have their own expertise. Then they're also very busy. My siblings are taking care of the front of the house and the admin offices of each. And then, example, Jill is the our franchising director. Grace takes care of our finance and treasury. John Paul, he's into operations, front of the house, and managing multiple outlets. And even right now, we're very happy that the third generation's coming in.
Okay, let's talk about that because one of the things I've heard with like the third generation is like it's a bit harder for them to connect because they were not there in the fruition, when everything was still in process. They were already there when everything is established. How do you and your siblings pass that passion and that care to the next generation?
Okay, we are in the stage where we are still in the mentoring stage of the third generation, and all of them have to go through a process. And good thing we were able to make a family constitution. So I think that was the one of the most important decisions that we had, especially when my father was alive. He was really pushing for it that we made a family constitution. Well, FCs are siguro for family businesses. It's a great tool for it to last generations. Hopefully, with the right with the right mix.
What was the like when you say for those who don't know like what can you give us an idea of what's in there?
Okay,
without
a
saying
family
everything?
constitution is like it's like a parang a wish list of the patriarch that I want the generations to come to continue it. So it all starts with not a business, but it all starts with the values.
Okay.
There's a set of values that parang I set. Tapos the family constitution is a parang it's a guiding tool wherein you separate family from business.
Yeah.
And how you operate kasi sometimes inside the family there are squabbles. You cannot avoid that. Like for example, I'm older than you should listen to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you like you cannot say that because I'm older.
Yeah.
Things like that. So we did experience that stage. We're not a perfect family. We also had chaos. We also had ano. Pero it aligned us. No,
Yeah.
everyone got the right maturity, and one of the requirements for the family constitution is if you will sign, if you will abide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, parang ganon. And then, for those, we're not forcing our third generation to join us. But if in case you wish to enter the family business,
This is what you're going into.
this is what you're going
These are the
into.
values
So,
that we
so they
uphold,
still
yeah?
do the interview, the
Yeah,
medical
they go through
exam.
that.
They go through the interview.
Through the interview, they submit their requirements. And then they have actually two of them started contractual. On contractual.
That's very, I mean,
Interesting.
very humbling for them, right?
Yeah, and they were even telling me, Tito, it was better when we were kids. Why? We would eat in the restaurant for free.
Yeah.
Now, we don't eat for free. We get to eat the family meals lang. And we don't have signing privilege. So, yeah, that's reality. Okay, the nice thing about it is we also value the people, aside from our siblings and our family members. We also value the people that who have worked with us through the years.
Yeah, exactly.
So, parang we also let them feel that you can grow with the company
Wow.
as we grow. And it's not na, kasi there's some na, oh, I don't have a chance to grow because, there's a son or there's a daughter of the owner. Parang ganon. So, we opened it. We opened the doors. So, example, the third generation, they have stages also. So, and they have assignments. So, they do dishwashing, they do like that. And it's so important when we have family meals kasi. So, that's always the mantra of the Café Laguna, yung family. when they socialize and when they work with our crew, non-family members, it's where they eventually will earn their respect. It's also
But
what I experienced.
by family meals, you mean the whole crew of Café Laguna? You have a
We have our own meal.
oh
Parang family meals, parang free meals.
free meals.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought you're gonna be sitting in one table.
Yeah, that was what I was
That's what you
thinking.
mean.
So they go to the kitchen,
They go to the
they eat
kitchen,
what
yeah.
the people eat.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
cannot choose, parang ganon.
Yeah.
Ah,
So they don't have the
They
special
don't have the
privileges.
privilege.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
Okay.
it's a parang simple rule. When it's business, everything is like run like professionally. No attachment as
Speaking of values, what were like? Can you name like couple of values that you know there was this there that everybody I guess recognize?
okay, faith in God,
Okay, awesome.
respect, honesty. There's 7 eh.
Yeah.
You put me on the spot.
Sorry. So
There's one that's funny.
yes.
There's one very amazing so I think this is quite distinct, and the Ateneo Business School, they acknowledge it. They acknowledge us for this. There's one of the constitution that one of the values is cleanliness.
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 Okay. Yes.
So like kailangan malinis yung sahig mo, malinis yung banyo mo, malinis ang ganun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
personally.
Because my mom is the epitome of cleanliness. She cleans very well, and she maintains everything else very clean. So she wants it to transcend and passed on to generation to generation.
That's very important, especially in a restaurant business, right? In the food industry, because we, I mean, you want to eat with someone you can really.
yeah, it's clean.
It's clean, right? So it's
So now
really important.
you have lemongrass, which is like Vietnamese
It's Vietnamese and Thai.
and Thai, right? And then you have paella. Paella is like Filipino.
Paella is our version of it's more Cebuano.
Yeah, Cebuano.
Wow,
Cebuano.
yeah.
It's more Cebuano. Café Laguna is more Tagalog.
And you're overseeing this, right? So what's your day like? Just to go through.
Okay. Aside from me, my other siblings
Yeah,
are
for
also
sure, for
busy,
sure.
no? Pero my typical day, normally I stay in the center here in I have developed people already who manages our kitchens, so
Okay.
they report
They
to
report
me.
to you.
We give, and then there's spot checks, quality checks. There's production also, and then every week we have our management committee. So
You
operations
sit on those meetings.
and what else? Lots of work.
How do you like is there a tool that you use, because like we interviewed someone, I mean, I can name he Jay Aldeguer said like, I use WhatsApp management, everybody's on WhatsApp, everybody can
Okay.
message me, like this. Do you have something like that similar?
Oh yeah, we have our Viber group.
Yeah.
And then
It's
siguro
faster.
It's faster.
Yeah.
We for the we're using Telegram.
Yeah, Telegram, yeah.
We're using Telegram.
for the internal
Even like for example, I had to educate our supervisors, the one who's manning the kitchens, the dining. We have our own I had to educate them about example, for example, is one is data.
data.
Yeah.
We had to arrange na okay, we have to accept the fact that our phone should have data connection.
Yes.
So that's the transition that we're experiencing right now. Like Jay, I know Jay, very dynamic guy, and very creative. Sometimes I even asked him like, Jay, how do you communicate? And siya, yeah, just use Viber.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because the reason we're asking you that is like, how does businesses evolve through the times and take advantage of all the tools that we have right now, and what other things that you put in place that makes you more efficient?
Okay. Well, me, I try to catch up with technology. I'm not that young, but as much as possible, I can still catch up. Softwares I study also. Okay. I still cook. So if I'm so stressed out, for me the most relaxing thing is go to the kitchen and cook. For me, that's so relaxing. My hours are very erratic. Our day offs, my typical day off is
Weekday? Is a weekday.
It depends. It depends. So if the week doesn't warrant you a day off, so you don't have a day off.
So if it's like a season where it's gonna
Oh, yeah.
be busy season for
Yeah,
especially
there are seasons na, no? Kasi I take care of catering also.
Wow.
And in our catering business, I have clients who have like customized menus that they want.
Yeah.
So I have to create pa from scratch and
Oh,
execute
yeah?
it. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. If I
Even
may,
even catering, we've changed the format.
Wow.
When we did catering for a long time na, pero I think for the last 10, 12 years, I've changed the format of our catering. So it's different na. We have on-site cooking. So I think we
On-site
were one of
cooking,
the
yeah.
first ones to do it. Like serve cold food, cold, hot food, hot. Like that.
Awesome.
yeah, if I may ask, like, if you were to like rank the main generators of the business now, what would be if you're open to sharing it? What's the like top of the line restaurant now, or is it the catering? Like where does the like money come from right now?
Okay. Well, in terms of we would say not profitability but maturity.
Yeah, maturity.
The overall maturity of the brand, it's Café Laguna.
Okay.
Okay, Café Laguna. Running second would be lemongrass.
Oh, lemongrass.
Okay,
I love
lemongrass.
lemongrass.
Lemongrass. Before we expanded, we just recently. It took us a while, because we really wanted to be really comfortable. Our family, we don't wish to have hundreds of branches. No, we don't want that. Maybe the third generation if they do want, but right now it's more on quality than quantity.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
love that.
if we like it, we go for it. If we don't like it, like you just suck it up. But we always try to improve. Our newest baby is Parilla and Ulis. So it's an evolved for us. It's an evolving brand, and in this our catering. Well, it's one of the main contributors also, and it's mostly a support group. So para ito yung it checks because like in catering, all of the foods that there are even foods that you don't find in the other brands that we make.
Yeah. Because they can basically order a
Anything.
specific anything. Yeah.
Anything, yes.
And this we have a school here, right?
No, to correct the notion, we don't have a school.
Ah,
here.
sorry.
It is. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just maybe a couple of questions from me. When you because lemongrass is quite different from what you're used to, and then ulis also is like streets of Asia and so different from what you used to do. How did you went to school again for that? Or?
Okay, the story behind lemon is very nice. Okay, when I was in the United States, I was assigned. Okay, there was a convention, so all cuisines, everybody was there, all top notch. So kami naman were assistants. So we were the dakilang alila. I was assigned a country. So my assigned country was Thailand. So, from the airport, I have to wait for this lady who was the representative of Thailand. Parang, ito yung top-notch nila. So, they sent this lady with their granddaughter who speaks English. So, I was servicing them. They loved me so much, no? Because I took care of everything. I take alaga.
You love the Filipino.
I treated
feel.
her as my lola. She's like my lola. And then we so grew fond of her. Even after that, we've been communicating.
Wow.
And one time, and we tried a Thai cuisine in sports club when we were still managing it, and it came to our idea like, what if we open? So, the thing that we were not convinced that time was mentality of diners would say like, do they have a Thai cook? So that's the first thing.
Yeah, usually.
So parang for me it's so unfair. Like, why don't you try the food first?
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, if you're able to understand the taste profile, you get to use the right ingredients and authenticate, and you use the right cooking discipline of that specific cuisine, you can do it. Okay, so we went to Thailand, hooked up again with that lady, and found out she was the culinary directress of a parang it's like a school. It's where they train their chefs from generation to generation who are serving the king and queen.
Wow.
Amazing.
Super big.
So
So you have the best.
I had the best mentor.
Mentor, yeah.
I had the best mentor. So it was different no multiple visits to her, and we even stayed. I even stayed na I would accompany her again sa market. Would stay there. Sometimes I stay there the whole day and watch like okay how do they
Do certain dishes.
do certain no like what's their attitude for breakfast, how do they parang ganyan. So it took me a while, even the pounding using the mortar and pestle, they don't use like food processors, no, they want it rustically done. um, she was even telling me you cannot cook, you don't know how to pound. So to make a paste.
They have their
So
own mantras.
this one really brought the confidence in me na to do it. It was more of passion. Now, when we opened in Ayala, the first outlet, it was in the activity center. We call it the entertainment center.
Yeah.
It was a big hit. It was a big hit. So, so thankful. We nurtured it. It took us how many years before we decided to expand. So right now we have in Seaside and we also have in Bacolod.
Wow.
Nice.
Speaking of expansion, right? So, what's like the and you've mentioned franchising earlier. So, what's like the future of Laguna Group? Like, what do we look? What are we looking at 5 years from now? Like, if you were to share it to everyone.
Okay. We plan to stay. Okay, we've been in the business for quite some time, and we are acknowledging the transition stage of where we have to accept a difference in not really taste, but the way food is prepared, the food is presented. The
Instagrammable.
Instagrammable, okay. Systems, we have to change systems. Like for example, we need to improve our service. I know people would agree that we need to improve our service, and it's duly acknowledged. I would not be ashamed to admit it. We are really like working hard right now how to do it, and we dream of the day when even matured brands like Café Laguna was it's at its peak, no? You might say like after that, what's next? We wanted it to reach global.
Wow.
We wanted it to reach global on the global stage, and we're really proud. We're really proud Filipinos,
No, I love
especially
that.
even I'm adopted son of Cebu. No, I would say I'm a proud Cebuano. I'm not saying I'm proud Tagalog, no, but I'm proud Cebuano.
Awesome. Okay, now you've talked about your plans for expansion. Personally, for you, because you're the one who actually went to the States, expand on the R&D level. What's the next thing that you would like
Personally.
to learn or to grow into?
Okay. Right now I'm my mind shifts eh. I'm bipolar siguro. Okay, no offense, I'm just
You're
kidding,
very
guys.
creative.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm not fond of, like hot cuisine, yung mga fine dining and things. I'm not really fond of it. I do it, I have many clients who I service like hot cuisine, gourmet food.
Yeah.
Pero it's how the people are evolving in terms of how they consume food. We see in the near future like it will have a great impact where people when they fill up these condos
Yeah.
that's being abound in the city, it's gonna change. No, it's gonna change the way they cook. You have to be creative in microwave cooking.
Wow. Yeah.
That's gonna be the next big thing. The microwave cooking, vendo machines,
This is like Japan.
like Japan. I was so amazed the first time I saw a vendo machine that served hot food. Have you seen it? Amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. So there's no cook. No, normally it's cold and frozen, but this one was hot. So it will evolve, and right now I'm focusing more on systems and sourcing. So trying to explore many things more. like ingredients, where do they find, how to make it more sustainable, how to be more competitive. In terms of research and development, we're gearing towards more accessible food.
What's that?
Okay, like for example, I've learned something when we tried to venture in the airport operations. We had an outlet there. Um, Came to realize um, many restaurants have done it also very well, serving food in like less than 3 minutes
Wow, yeah, because the
over the
time
counter.
is really
Yeah, because
crucial.
time is of essence, diba? Um, what if you get much better food in such short time? So, and you cannot use in airport operations. You don't use gas. It's all everything's electric.
Electric.
So that's one of the things that is pondering me. Um, Production cookery, always amazes me. Immersion of different cultures. I'm not fan of fusion. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of fusion cooking. So if I cook Japanese, I'll stick to Japanese profiles. If I cook Tagalog, Tagalog. Bicolano, Japanese, ganon. Um, Immersing in other cuisines, that's one of my favorites. I'm more curious about Middle Eastern right now. Like Middle
Yeah.
Eastern.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I'm really curious.
Yeah.
Because
That is-
if you think about it, every country has their own like.
Yes.
It's amazing how you to imagine that there's so many countries out there, then they have their own unique cuisines, right? Like their own dishes. Wow, that's one of my dreams, personally, to like taste
Yeah.
different style of.
Yeah. How I wish
They
I
might
could
do it
travel.
more. they'll create another restaurant. that's
Yeah.
catered to
Actually,
that.
we have something in the works right now, but I
Wow.
cannot divulge
Sure.
it yet.
Yes.
But there's something we want to do na it's very, we call it chef based. Parang you don't have to stick to a certain pero it's more of a creation. It's not fusion, it's more of a creation wherein you still follow the certain taste profile and the discipline of how it's being done. Parang ganon.
Wow.
So watch out for it.
You heard
Yeah.
that first in the Big Picture podcast.
I guess I'm curious about what you said, and this is probably my last question. How did the taste of the Cebuanos change, and like how did you adapt to that as a company, and how will you kind of anticipate the destination if they did change?
Very hard question, but I'm so happy you asked for it. I believe that the Cebuano taste has really evolved. One, lucky for us, the Laguna Group, lucky for us, they embraced the Tagalog taste of cooking. We're so thankful. Because if not, we've been gone by now. No, meaning to say, they embraced it. So the taste of kare-kare, they like. The discipline of making good, like for example, laksa, laing, things like that. In terms of um, dining behavior, it has totally changed. Um, Everybody hates the traffic. People always go out. They eat somewhere else. So that has changed a lot in Cebu. And even young kids know how to order already. Unlike before, we would always, rely on our parents, right? Like what they order is what they eat. Right now, they know lots of stuff. They even know cuisines already.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks
like
to the
the
internet.
Thanks to the internet. And Cebuanos in particular is still the market that's so it's nice to test because it's so hard to please the Cebuano taste.
Exactly.
Parang for my take talagang value for money. Talagang value for money. Like I have to get my money's worth whenever I buy something. It's not like okay, I just splurge, I would just want to spend 500. No.
Yeah, it's different.
It's
really.
different. Talagang they wanted the money's worth.
Wow.
Awesome. How about like the future? Like how do you what were your measures to like anticipate? Oh, this is where the Cebuanos would like to explore next.
Okay. Well, with the influx of of the different influences and the the varied lifestyles that's happening right now, we are also, we made it a point to study about a market study. So we created this parang department of studying the behavior, like for example, like um, um, why is chicken so saleable on this particular day and particular hour.
Wow, that's
So that's one thing na
Data analysis.
data analysis is parang market research.
Market research,
Uh, that's one thing. We're trying to analyze data of what we've gathered through the years, and what needs for us to correct, what needs for us to evolve. We acknowledge that. Siguro that's one thing that we're so thankful with the organization, our organization right now. It's because we have open minds and parang from tradition. My mom is still active. Actually, my mom is still active. So my mom is still heads the company, and we even her, she already knows how to Viber.
Yeah.
She would give instructions through Viber na.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
that's a totally different thing na ngayon. Um, hopefully hopefully sana we're praying that we're able to make ourselves relevant in the generations to come.
stay relevant.
Stay relevant. So I think you will stay relevant if you still have the passion to work and passion to improve, and the acceptance of your faults,
Yeah.
and your miscues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Awesome.
So we normally end this section of the show with our learnings with Dave and I, and as usual.
Did you learn anything?
I learned a lot. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna start.
Dave, go ahead. Yeah.
So what really caught my attention was and I think this is very particular with you and your mom actually, the mantra. So it's nice to have that, like, just a dream of, the mantra was to get a Carenderia with aircon, or your mantra was to really improve the, the R&D.
It's
and all.
like
So-
they have this one goal for
Yeah,
now
there's like
and one
the
step
internal
at a time.
compass,
Yeah,
right?
Internal
So-
compass.
So it's really nice to have that, and also I really felt the humble beginnings of this company, and I learned that in order for you to really make this last for generations to generations, that the family constitution is there. There's an agreement, and everyone has to go through it. It's
I like that.
no, everyone has to know how it felt like, how the business was built. So I think that's really powerful, and I'm excited to someday build my own generations to generation kind
Build
of
your-
business, right?
By the way,
Build your
if you allow me, since you mentioned like what the things that you learned and appreciate with our kwentuhan tonight, my mom would always say this and like to share it: profit with honor.
Profit with honor.
Yes,
I like that.
I also live by that.
I like that. Yeah. Right. In my case, I like the the fact that it was an intentional evolution, for you, and as a person, I could not imagine the kind of the effort. I don't know if you want to call it sacrifice, but going there and just really pouring time. And the reason I like that is because anything that's worthwhile doing, it's worthwhile spending time on, right? So I think you really did that, and I think it's, if you stop evolving, one of the reasons that you're still relevant and strongly relevant now is because you basically did something that's different than before. And that's the reason why I'm always asking you about, like, what's your next evolution? That's the next thing that you're going to research on. And so I think that one of the takeaways I'd like our viewers and listeners would take for tonight is that, for today, as you listen to this podcast, is that it's really important to grow. It's really important to strive for, sometimes change is difficult, but, you really have to anticipate it. It will really happen. And then, therefore, you have to evolve as a person, no matter where you are and what you're doing. Second thing I really like, values. I felt like, when talking to you, I felt like your mom's values has always been there. It's like, it's always this strong foundation that you guys really live with, and the respect that you have for for your mom is so evident, and I really like
It's
that.
amazing. Like we felt her
Yeah.
presence here, right?
I felt like I felt
Actually,
like
she's
there's-
watching now. Say hi.
I felt that. I felt that. So
Yeah,
that's really. I mean, to me, because we felt it, it's
That's
just because
how,
you.
imbibe.
Yeah, you have that
It's in her.
vibe.
It's in him. Like,
So I like that.
She would be very happy that you know, it touches her a lot. It touches her a lot when other people would appreciate appreciate what she's doing and what she has like contributed. The simple mom that she is, right, with us, no, she transcends kasi the energy of the passion and the energy of the um, don't stop. Hindi pa tayo tapos. Lagi ganyan. Hindi tayo tapos. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. The work ethic also is really.
Oh yeah.
really-
I
I
cannot
can feel
imagine.
The work ethic of
cannot
my mom,
imagine.
it's hard to surpass. Me even. No, my mom is a horse. So
Awesome.
she's a strong
Cannot
horse.
imagine.
All right.
All right. So, we move on to the next portion of our show, which we call the
lightning round.
round.
And so this is the portion of the show, Raki, that going to ask you like a series of questions.
the same questions, and you can answer it as swift like lightning as if you decide to. Yeah.
Okay, I hope I fare out well.
Okay, so the first question is: do you have a morning routine? And if yes, can you share it with us?
The first thing I do when I wake up is thank you that for the gift of life, that I'm still alive.
I like that. I like that.
Yes, and I think I have an idea already. But who or what inspires you?
Our family, not just my family, our family. It inspires me that everybody, almost everybody, is really pitching in, and even has reached out to the third generation, and some of them, because some did not join, some did. We were able to convey to them the importance of our achievement and the noble thing that we're doing right now. And it's nice to know that these millennials are still embracing of what we believe in.
Awesome. Right. Next question is: do you consider yourself and your company successful?
I don't consider myself successful, but I consider our company successful. Why? I think our business have been successful and continue to be successful, but me as I'm still evolving. No, I'm still evolving. There are still many flaws that and there are many things I want to learn. I'm a good learner. I'm not an A student in college, but I think I've grown more maturely in terms of the attitude on learning. My zest for learning has greatly, parang I'm a very curious person.
Yeah. So I would like to ask this question: if you were to start all over again, like in like what your mom
Your mom
was,
did.
your mom did, right?
Yeah.
But in case you still have the learnings, but you don't own or you're not part of this Café Laguna or Laguna Group, you just start your own.
The opportunities are the same.
Yeah, but in a new place, perhaps in Davao, right, or something like that. So you're in Davao already. But if you were to start from scratch, what would be like the first 3 or 5 steps you would do?
To open up a restaurant or open up
Yes.
a business?
Yeah,
Open up a business
Open
or
up a
restaurant,
business or a restaurant.
Okay, one, you should have something to offer. You should have something unique to offer, and you have the right people. I believe like I don't believe in parang everything is a team effort. We could have not reached this far without my siblings, my mom, especially our workers, our team. We call them our team. We consider them as family. So something unique that you can offer, the right people, faith.
I like that. So since Dave has been inserting new questions to the lightning round, I will insert a couple of questions, maybe 3 questions. What's the best advice that was given to you?
Listen to your mom.
Okay, let's do another one. What's the worst advice that was given to you?
Why don't you make your own?
Ah, that makes sense. In so
I
many
did have a
ways.
lot of offers. I did have a lot of offers.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So do you have like any book recommendation or a TV show or a like or like a cookbook perhaps that you recommend others or a school or a course?
Okay. Well, I'm a proud alumni of CIA, Culinary Institute of America. I'm a big fan of Thomas Keller.
Okay. So
Yeah, the way he approaches food. So Chef Thomas Keller, the French Laundry fame. I admire not just the restaurant but the passion behind it. Um, learn.
Awesome. Okay, next question. We talk about the next generation for you, right? And so you're kind of mentoring these people, right? And for sure, you've also seen other people starting their business. They're as young as probably the next generation. What is that one thing that you think they're not doing enough, or they're not actually doing that's very important for them to grow?
Okay. Sometimes I would observe this trait of being satisfied so easily. Like, okay na yan. Okay na yan. Okay lang yan. No, okay dapat yan. That's so different. That's one thing. Like
It's more of quality, the quality of work. Or?
quality of work, even the quality of effort that you put something into it.
Yes.
That's for me. To answer your question, that's I think one of my biggest observation.
Awesome. Yeah, I like
Alright.
that.
And my last question for my end, like a lot of our listeners, we've built this podcast basically for Filipinos, right? We're also very proud Pinoys, no? And we actually got when we started, we were thinking about the OFWs, the one who like sacrificed their like going abroad, like once you once did. I think you could relate, but and also those who are stuck in a job that they probably don't like, 9 to 5 jobs, stuck in traffic. Well, here you are in a good running family business. What is your advice for those people who wanted to make the jump, or to change whatever they have to start their own business or what?
Okay. You might be shocked if how I will answer this. There are many business gurus and motivational speakers that would probably say different thing. Me, I have very different outlook in life. It's we do not measure the things that we have achieved by the things that we have achieved and the things that we have owned, or probably material things, or even awards and recognitions that you may had. For me, if what you're doing, if you're an employee, if you're in a business, if you're a startup, if you're in a legacy kind of business, always try to look back to the people around you, and how for me I would consider myself successful when the time comes that I have seen people around me I have touched in a good way.
It's more of impact.
Yeah.
More an impact. Sorry, I cannot say na I really would not say na here's my tip for you to open up a business. For me, it's like putting gratitude in everything that you do, in gratitude in everything that you're in right now, and if you see value now, if you've seen an unmet need, go for it.
Yeah.
But always, when you reach there, please acknowledge the people that you have around you.
Awesome. Yeah, I like
I
that.
really
I
like
that.
answer.
I like that. Okay, the last question, and probably the hardest question. Whoa.
Say that.
I always love to say that. What's the best way to reach? What's the best way best place or best way to find your company's work, the restaurant, the shop,
Yeah,
that they
like,
can experience
how to connect with
and
you,
connect with
basically,
you,
yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Okay, can you expound more?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
basically like where can people find more
Yeah.
about you?
If they want,
company.
those who are listening, this they might not be from Cebu. They
Yeah.
want to see what your guys are doing.
Okay.
What's the
sorry.
best way? Sorry, wrong question. I guess.
Okay. We have our website, so they can visit www.lagunagroup.ph. You can also reach us through Facebook, and me Raki 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 at lagunagroup.ph. Many people email me also, and I respond. If you have any questions, I did lots of lectures already. Especially, I've been invited to different seminars, symposiums. It's. I also like to help.
I really like that.
All right.
And of course, you should try and eat in one of their restaurants if you haven't.
Yeah.
Yet, right?
Thank you very much. I'm so thankful in behalf of the family, Urbina family. I'd like to thank also Dave and Joseph. Thank you for the opportunity to be in the big picture.
It's our honor.
Yeah.
We learned so much.
Yeah, we
and
learned so
hopefully
much.
Our listeners learned a lot as well.
For sure.
So yeah, this
Guys,
is-
thank you so much for for joining us today in the live, and for those who missed the live will be available, I think, all throughout. But then we will be releasing the final version with the audio,
Yeah, and
better
videos
audio
on YouTube.
and YouTube.
you can listen it on Spotify,
Awesome.
iTunes. Like don't forget to subscribe. And if you're inspired by this episode, and it's very inspiring, I was like, I was silent the whole time. I was just absorbing and learning from Raki here. And you know what? If you're inspired, if you know anyone who's struggling with, perhaps they have their own Carenderia right now, right? Or if you want to start your own food business, or you want to be in the food industry, or just want to learn more about business or be
how to
being,
build
a legacy,
a legacy. Yeah.
homegrown business. So
This is
share this
a perfect
to them.
episode for
Yeah,
you.
share this on your wall. Tag the people that you want to listen. You think you would be inspired with this episode. So every minute of it, it's very powerful. Yes.
And for those who have sent us messages, know that we're reading them, and then we're
Yes.
replying to them also. Thank you so much for the feedback.
Yeah.
And
If you share the love, right?
share the love.
You can always message us. Let us know what you think we can improve. And yeah.
Yeah. All right. With that,
Yes.
it's been a wonderful, wonderful episode.
Yeah.
And guys, I hope you're inspired. I am inspired. And with, just please continue sharing this episode. It has been amazing. This has been Joe.
This is Dave, and
This is Raki saying
Thank you.
goodbye.
Bye-bye.